Welcome to this week's edition of Right on the Money with Tom Mosley, and I am Rebecca Powers. So happy to have you with us. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year, Tom.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, too. I hope you had a great one.
Yes, absolutely. Now, of course, every news station, I started in broadcast news and television. Every new year we do a story. What are your New Year's resolutions, right? You see it every time. Everyone always says going to the gym, getting physically fit, maybe working on their marriage, but no one mentions getting fiscally fit.
Right.
So that is our theme of the day, getting fiscally fit. Do you know your risk tolerance? Do you know where your money is? For a long time, I didn't when I was with a big box. And being an independent, that is exactly what you do. You give a complete physical of their fiscal situation. So where do you begin?
Well, you begin in November by ruining your financial situation generally by spending all of that money on Christmas, just like you begin in November with Thanksgiving and Christmas by ruining your physical body and needing to go to the gym and needing to get set up. And I think it's funny, the people who join the gym, I've seen stats that 43% of those people, 45 days later on Valentine's Day, are no longer going to the gym. Right. And they've already stopped. And so my advice to you from a financial perspective is pay by the month when you join the gym, because then you don't, you get those great deals for joining for the whole year. By February, most of you will have sat on the sidelines. But getting fiscally fit or financially fit is a lot like, and there are a lot of parallels to getting fit on a physical basis. And I can't help but hear the song in my head, let's get physical. When I was a youth director in Texas, we would always take songs and make our little funny songs about it. So when the kids headed to camp one year, they made up this song, let's get spiritual, spiritual. But I'm talking to you today about getting fiscal, which is getting financially fit and getting your life in order. Now I'm smarter though. I buy my own exercise bike, and that way I hide it in the garage, and then I can hang clothes on it. And for those of you who got the exercise bike or the rower or the treadmill and those kind of things for Christmas, I just want you to know you're setting yourself up for a fabulous garage sale at some place down the line, because somebody's going to give you 25 bucks for that, and they'll take it off of your hands.
But working out you have to do every day for weeks, months for it to pay off. This is not the case with your money. It is a few appointments, it is a few decisions, and then you do the rest, right? Your team looks out for them throughout the rest of their retirement.
How many times do you hear somebody say, when they're even advertising for the gym advertisement, fits perfectly, they always say, you need to consult your physician to make sure you're ready to start this exercise group.
Good point.
So I think the very first place you should start is by getting a checkup. Just like you would physically, you would go and you would subject yourself to a doctor, and they would check you from head to toe, the inside, outside, blood work, all kinds of things. They would give you a complete physical, and then they would call you, or I like to do my blood work and things ahead of time so that when I go, the doctor, if there's anything wrong, he or she can tell me right then that something's wrong. And when you go to them, they say, this is a little abnormal, we need you to do this to change that, to get this back into shape, but overall, you're okay. And so what you need to do to first start with, the very first thing you need to do is, before you launch out and start doing things that are going to pull financial muscles, so to speak, or hurt yourself financially, you need to get a checkup, not from the neck up, but from the wallet. You need to get a checkup in where you are. And a good mentor of mine, Dan Sullivan, always says, making progress always starts with telling the truth. And if you ever are looking at a roadmap, now a roadmap, Rebecca, I realize you're young, but that was a paper thing that we folded out. It wasn't something on our phone. Oh, you
flatter me, Tom.
But
I remember no cell phones and GPS.
But I remember back to the roadmaps, and most of you do too. You had to know where you were to know how to get to where you wanted to go. And that's what a plan will do. If you, for instance, if you take advantage of coming in and talking to us about our retirement blueprint offer, then what we will do is we will tell you where you are right now. But we will also look down the road and look at the roadmap and say, where do you want to go? Because that way, you got to start where you are now to get to where you want to go. And we will give you a good, sound, internal, external, every which way but loose. We will give you an overview of where you are right now. You want to retire in 3 years and you want to have $40,000 a year coming in, but you've got $4,000 saved. I had a guy came in that way one time. He was 3 years from retirement and he had $4,000 saved and he wanted $40,000 a year. I told him, I said, Vegas or State Line, either one, and be really, really lucky over a long period of time. And sometimes we have to tell people that there's no way to do it. You have to keep working, or you need to keep working. But most of the time we're able to tell people, you have done enough, that you're in good enough physical shape that you are okay, and you'll be able to retire right now. And I love the look on their face when you finally say you have collected enough to retire. And my why is their sigh. When we put together a plan for somebody and they look at it and they just go like this, they go, and they just let that exhaust out of pressure and worry, and concern.
To have that binder and know where everything is.
Yeah, because
it's all planned out.
They've got a written plan. They know how their income is going to be. That's guaranteed, increasing, will last as long as they do. If they're married, will last as long as the surviving spouse. It's indexed for inflation, or it will grow with inflation. They know their investments are not going to just be rocked up and down by the stock market. They know how their taxes are going to come out and how they're going to be paid and what it's going to cost them. They know how their health care is going to be taken care of, and they know how they're going to leave it to those when they're gone. That's what a complete plan means. So if you're going to start and get into great physical shape, the very first thing you need to do is to get a financial and to have somebody give you an overview of your plan and to where you want to go and to how you're going to be able to get there. But the key is starting with where you are right now and what you need to do to accomplish the goals that you need to accomplish. And let's face it, most people retire only one time.
Yeah.
And when they do it, they've never ever done it before. But we at Mosley Wealth Management, we've walked through with hundreds of people. Successfully, we've walked through this tough nut to crack of retirement. And we can do the very same thing to you, but you have to raise your hand. You have to say, of all the people that are out there watching this and listening to this, you have to raise your hand and say, I need help. I need to know where I am. I need a plan so that I can begin to get in good financial or fiscal shape. That's what we offer you, but you have to pick up the phone, or you have to scan the QR code and you have to give us your information. Set up a time according to your calendar on our calendar with one of our phenomenal advisors, and we will sit down with you for 1 hour and we'll just go through where you are. You're going to have to bring some statements for us to look at and know what you have and where it's positioned right now. That's like doing the blood work. And then we know internally where you are, and we're able to make recommendations for you to accomplish your goals. The number is 866-709-1462. Please give us a call. We are standing by. We want to help you, but you have to raise your hand. You have to dial 866-709-1462. Get on our schedule, and we'll get you in good financial shape if you'll let us.
And it might just be a second opinion. Maybe you're happy with your financial planner, but Tom is a fiduciary. He's also an independent. So there's a very, very big difference, because what is best for you is in his best interest. Stay with us more, how you can retire right on the money.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only to set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan. that we're giving away complimentary to the first 10 people who respond. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have. By running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go, and who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no-obligation, full-blown financial review today.
Welcome back to Right on the Money. It's the new year. We're not talking about getting physically fit, which most of us put on our list as number one. We're talking about getting fiscally fit. Imagine if you had everything, your entire plan for the rest of your existence in one nice binder, and you had a complimentary blueprint to get there. That's what we're talking about. So we're comparing it to getting your body in shape and your wallet in shape. So what's the most important step to get started?
Well, after you get the plan and you go to your doctor and you make sure you're okay and you're on track inside, outside, every which way, and that parallel is going to a financial advisor and finding out exactly where you are right now. It's what we talked about in the first segment. You generally start an exercise program. And there's a saying about exercise, no pain, no gain. Exactly. So sometimes that hurts a little bit. So here's what I mean by an exercise program. One component of that is you need to start saving. That most people who are 5 years from retirement, you are in the prime income earning years of your life. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, even better. If you do something like this and you say, we're going to retire in about 10 years, start that exercise program and say, what do I need to do? What kind of lifts do I need to do? What kind of machine do I need to work on so that I can get my financial body, my financial life in shape. So that may mean going, if you have a 401k and you've had a lackadaisical approach toward a 401k for several years and you've not been contributing because, you know, things got in the way. You know what things are. Life gets in the way, and it's always, you've always thought before and along the way many times that, oh, retirement will take care of itself, or I'm a long way away from retirement. You're not close to it. But when you get closer to retirement within 10 years, it becomes more urgent.
Right.
And you know, when you've got a little bit of a thing wrong with the motor in your car, but you really don't take care of it. But if you are planning a trip in about a week or about 2 weeks and down the road, you take the car to the mechanic and say, hey, I'm going on a trip and I don't want to break down out in the desert or up on the grapevine. You say, I need to make sure I'm in good shape. So you get the car in shape. Well, you need to get your 401k in shape in many instances. You can, if you're over 50, in 2023 and you have the opportunity to have a 401k, you can put $30,000 into the 401k total this year. If you don't have the opportunity to have a 401k, let me throw one in here. If you own your own company and you're the only person there, you're self-employed, but you do have a company, you can start what's called a SEP IRA, SEP IRA, and you can put towards $60,000 away in retirement if you are that way. So it's a simplified employee pension. It's what it's really called, and a lot of people refer to it because SEP is a self-employed person, but that's not really what it means, but it's for self-employed people.
So it's kind of like your own pension, your personal pension.
It's kind of like your own pension, but you have to be the only employee and the only person, but a lot of people fit that. There again, that's something that a lot of people aren't really looking to put money into, but if you're working with somebody who's a financial advisor and knows the rules and the ropes of retirement, they may present that opportunity to you. But in an IRA, if you don't have anything else, in a regular IRA, you can put $7,500 if you're over 50 in 2023. Or if your tax situation fits, and this is where you need to work with somebody who gives you the right kind of advice, you may want to put your money into a Roth IRA, ROTH IRA, because you go ahead and pay the tax now. Now, if you're in a super high income bracket, you might not want to do that. If you're in a super high income bracket, you might not be eligible for a Roth because it cuts off at about $220,000, but you need to investigate, and should I pay the tax now, put that money into a Roth IRA? If so, it's $7,500 like the regular Roth. So no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
You say, Tom, $30,000 a year is $2,500 a month. And so is retirement, or more, or a lot more. So you need some, here's the thing. You don't need the regular big box broker who's not going to really tell you the truth, who's not going to really lay it out for you. Why? Because if they really lay it out for you, they're making money off your money, like everybody does, but their goal is just to grow your money and to keep your money because they're really good at the accumulation stage. But they're not planning on being around in most cases at the end, when it's time to either have money at the end at 85 years of age or not have money at 85 years of age. I had a lady,
not in their best interest. They have to sell their products and they have to accumulate in stocks and bonds.
They have to please the people they're working for, and they're working for the big box firm. They're not working for you, the client. So you need somebody who's going to tell you the truth, who's going to look across the table and say, you need to keep working. And believe you me, these are hard. You need somebody who's going to look across the table and say, you need to maybe not spend as much because you need a budget. You say, wow, my mom passed away and she used to tell me all of that stuff and I don't need that anymore. No, you really do need it. So you need somebody who's going to tell you, you need to pay down your debt while you can. And you don't need to go into retirement with credit cards. But getting physically fit, it starts with an exercise program. No pain, no gain, and there's got to be some pain along the way. I'll tell you what, if you want somebody who's willing, and it's not fun, okay? You get that? It's not fun, but if you want somebody who's willing to tell you the truth about your situation and not just, oh, let's be happy, don't worry, it'll come back, it's just a paper loss, but who's going to say, you've lost 35% this year, you might have to work a little bit longer. Who's going to tell you the truth?
Yeah.
You go to the doctor, you don't want the doctor to look at the blood work, you don't want the doctor to look at the exams that they've done and say, oh, you're okay, your blood pressure's only 200 over 120, but it'll come down. No, you want somebody who's going to say, we've got to get some of these things under control for you not only to live a long time, but to live a long time and have a great retirement. And that's what we're trying to show, and that's what we're trying to get you into a position where you can enjoy your retirement. And we're willing to work with you. And one big difference in us is we're not just there to sell you stuff and to let it grow, and then if you move on, okay, we'll find somebody else, because we've got commercials running on all the football games and all the golf tournaments and everything every weekend. If you're wanting to look for somebody who's going to walk with you through retirement and who's going to make sure that you're on course on an annual basis, because you need some adjustments as you go, that's who we are, and that's what we offer to do for you. And we're telling you the truth right now in general, but we would tell you the truth in specific if you give us a chance to come in, let us do the analysis, and we're going to tell you, you need to get in an exercise program, and these are the things you need to do. Pay down the debt. You might need to budget. You might need to contribute more and build these things more, and then you're able to retire. Because if we're going through life with you all the way through, we don't want to get close to the end and realize that we're piloting the Titanic.
Right.
It's not going to work. We want it to work for you. And it's not pleasant for us or you or anybody else if we get close to the end and it doesn't work. So we want to tell you the truth now to get you on track. Pick up the phone and call us. I mean, we're offering this, but you have to take advantage of it. 866-709-1462. One of our advisors, you can get an appointment on our calendar, or you can go to the QR code and do the same thing. You can get an appointment on our calendar. We'll sit down with you and we'll tell you, this is the exercise program you need to put yourself through to get in shape the way you should.
Absolutely. And wouldn't it be wonderful to have everything completely organized in one book? And we'll talk about it in the next segment, but Tom will be here forever because his wonderful son Travis has joined the business a few years ago. So it has definitely been in their blood, and he'll, I'm sure Travis will be here for another 40 years. So the Mosley family is someone who will always be there for you once they begin. Stay with us more on how you can retire right on the money right after this.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back. We're talking about how everyone wants to get physically fit. We all say that in the beginning of the year, but fiscally fit can truly change your life. There are so many things, Tom, that you can help them do. Tax planning, you can look at their risk evaluation. Maybe they're losing way more than they even thought they were. There are annuities. There are so many tools you can use. So let's go on to our strategy to be fiscally fit.
Okay. When you get physically fit, you not only need to go to the doctor and get a checkup to make sure you're okay, and you need to start exercising, no pain, no gain. We've covered that. You also need to many times stop eating the wrong things and start eating the right things. And what I'm going to do is, for the next few minutes, the last part of this program, I'm going to go through some things that I've listed that I've seen multiple times in 27 years of people who they are just doing things that are hurting them, not exhaustive list, but just 5 or 6 main things, and then that you need to stop doing. Maybe if you're doing, you need to consider stop doing them, and then 5 or 6 things that you need to do. So I might read from a list a little bit more here, okay?
This is your good money diet, we'll call it.
Okay, I'm going to make them mad at me right off the bat. I see so many people that are buying things and giving so much money to their kids or their grandkids. Okay, and trust me, look at it this way. In the family, you're the goose that's laid the golden egg. So they're coming to you for the gold, okay? But if the golden egg laying goose dies or runs out of money, what good is it for the whole family?
Right.
So many people, and the grandkids, you're as a grandparent many times looking for companionship, and you're looking for somebody to talk to, and the grandkids take advantage of that, and you just give money to the grandkids. Second thing is, so many people are still giving money. I had a lady recently, she had $120,000 saved for retirement. She was in her late 60s, and she was going to give her son, who's 45, another $40,000 to go back and get a second master's degree.
Oh, Lord.
Well, if you've mastered anything on the first degree, you should make enough money to pay for your second master's degree.
Yeah, you're a grown man, come on.
And here she's going to give him 1/3 of what she had, just so he could go back and stay in school for a little while longer. So coddling, if you don't have kids that you have to coddle and they're in their 40s, fantastic. If they're in their 30s, even better. But even in their 20s, you need to break the umbilical cord and let them get out on their own sometimes because they're draining you dry. Don't throw anything at me, please understand.
I know, I can hear people getting mad at you. But you can also buy a little something. You can invest $1,000. You can say, instead of all these silly presents, I'm going to give you, right?
Right,
I mean,
something small, something big, because they will hit you up for big items,
Yeah,
okay?
okay.
Some people go too much and travel too much, and they spin down too quickly. You need to have an advisor who's going to be willing to say, look, if you keep spending at this rate, you're not going to make it. Some people tap into it's all the immediacy things. They tap into their Social Security too early because they say, yeah, I might be able to get the right amount later or more later, but I want to get as much as I can now. Sometimes when you get a little bit older and you still have 2 vehicles or even 3 vehicles around, and you never, ever go in more than one. So sometimes just getting rid of another vehicle will save you $400 or $500 licensing, $1,000 a year on insurance and upkeep and all kind of, and a car that sits there is going to get bad faster than a car that you drive because the tires are going to rot, and the rubber on the inside, all those things. Okay, let me go to start eating right, start doing the right things. Previously, we've said put the pedal to the metal on your savings. If you're still working, keep saving. This is funny, this is a prideful thing. Take advantage of senior discounts.
I won't do it. I got AARP invitations, and it's really offensive.
Let me ask you this. What day did you get the AARP?
I was like 52.
Yeah, I know. And it was like the day of your birthday. And it's
very
bad
rude.
enough to have another birthday because you wanted to quit having them.
So you're
and
telling me I need to
boom.
do that to get the free luggage and
You
the
need-
50-cent coffee at McDonald's?
You just need to take advantage of. I love it when I go to football games because in Southern California here, when I go, it's usually $8 or $10, and it's $3 for a senior. And they don't even card me. They don't even ask me for a card, okay? Some people need to evaluate your life insurance because you carried life insurance for a while to cover a mortgage that's already paid off, to cover raising your children that are already raised, to cover college education for your children. All the purposes of your term life insurance are gone. You may be able to drop that premium and save some money there
that's a good idea.
and start doing the right things. And some of you need to make some decisions on your home. Do we downsize? I mean, that's a tough thing too. You need to talk it out really well because that's the home where your kids grew up.
Right.
But a lot of ladies come in and they say, I want to downsize because I'm tired of cleaning 3,200 square feet. And people do downsize and they do it successfully. People do downsize sometimes and they get to a point where they say, I really miss our home because that was where all the memories were and all of those things. I remember my mom passed away of Alzheimer's, and my dad moved her about 8 years before she died down to Texas where we had more family to help him. And she always said, even though it was her house and her things, she would always say, honey, take me home.
Oh.
I want to go home. So you got to be really careful on some of these things, but you need to make some changes to make sure that you're going to be financially fit. That's what we offer. You've heard the program. Give us a call, 866-709-1462. Just saying, yeah, some of those were good ideas. We might need to do some of those things. That won't help you one bit. That won't help you one single bit. You've got to pick up the phone and call us, or you've got to scan that QR code, and you've got to get on our schedule of one of our phenomenal advisors and come in and talk to us, and we'll give you some particular plans. We'll give you a complete financial on your particular situation. We'll help you in any way we can.
And then a complimentary blueprint to get you throughout retirement and to get you through the rest of your life so you can keep the same standard of living. Have a wonderful week, everyone. We'll see you again next time.